Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Well, we always figure it out.
Full send it when you're in doubt.
Dude, one time we did this recently. There was updates on the iPhone that had reactions. Have you seen that yet?
Yes.
Oh my God. We
That
recorded
created a nightmare for us.
YouTube. Well, we did one podcast and then one YouTube video. And Hudson goes to edit the YouTube video and the podcast? I don't know. No, just the YouTube video. And he's like, what is the thumbs up that's popping up or the thumbs down? And we're like, oh no. So we recorded that one. And then the podcast we didn't find out about until it went live on YouTube. And then somebody comments, when she's talking about her business, why is there a thumbs down?
Yeah, it was our friend Amy, and like literally right when she talks about her husband's business, this little thumbs down icon pops up.
Yeah.
Like,
what the fuck is that, dude? Timing.
We're like, we're just testing to see how many people are watching. Yeah.
So we were like, oh God, take it off of YouTube. And then we covered it with the logo of the business.
Oh, that's still, you're like, oh my gosh,
stupid.
Yeah, that created some trouble for us.
iPhones are horrible with their updates.
Yeah, and then they just put them on instead of like letting you turn them on.
Yeah, you're like, thanks for the heads up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
I've had some very frustrating experiences lately with iPhones.
You need some therapy.
He does. We just went through a wild ride with fun.
The third cup of coffee today is not helping. We had our daughter has volleyball like till 9 o'clock at night.
Oh,
once a week. Fuck, dude. Like, I go to bed at 8.
Enjoy.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Well, what time do you get up?
6.
Okay, we get up at 4:45.
Okay.
So it's even, right?
So we go to bed between 8 and 9 every night.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Schedule is huge.
Yeah.
So whatever works for you.
Yeah, we went to bed last night. We got home at 10. So then, we had to like brush our teeth, get ready, go to bed. And I could feel the difference at the gym this morning. Like my body was weaker.
I was a pile of shit at the gym also. Yes.
I imagine that daily.
That I'm a pile of shit. Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Glad
it keeps me going.
All right, maybe we should get going.
You know what? Don't edit any of that out. That's the best
live.
part. Yes. Welcome back to Residing in North Idaho. We have Kyra Beamis with us today. I feel like you're famous in town.
I know. She's been doing podcasts all week. Or,
I have.
Or a couple weeks.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. It's been
that's
exciting.
insane.
Now she's slumming it on ours. So.
I'm excited to be here and not slumming it.
She's in our basement.
That's not creepy at all, is it, guys? Thanks for the invite to your basement.
It's a multi-purpose media room. So
whatever you call it. OnlyFans is on later.
I'll leave it at that. So Kyra works at the same brokerage as us, Keller Williams Realty here in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. She was previously the team lead, and now that she's not the team lead, we came back to. Well, that's what brought us back to Keller Williams.
I quit because of you guys.
Yeah.
We came back and she quit 2 days later.
Yeah.
Yep. Done.
So. But we had a topic today, and I think there's some value in this. Kyra has, how many rentals have you bought in the last how many years?
I own 6 properties.
That's fantastic.
And I bought one in the last 3 years.
So I want to learn more about this because that's a goal of ours, and I don't know shit. So
you're at the right spot.
Yeah. I'm at ground zero. So anything you tell me will be beneficial.
Yeah. Well, we've gotten close, but we just can't pull the trigger ever. So.
Yeah. Are they all in Idaho?
They are.
So that's the other challenge. Is like, so,
that's impressive. Yeah. With the average.
Well, and part of it, like my very first one I bought in January of 2020. So the prices weren't crazy and the interest rates were still good. Thanks, Mike.
I'm the Mike police.
Hello.
There you go. So much better.
However, I've used them as short-term rentals, so it makes sense on the mortgage portion of it. So, I mean, we'll get into all that stuff.
Yeah, totally.
Okay. Sorry, you're leveraging things correctly? Is that the?
Actually, no.
Ooh.
Okay, let's start at the beginning. Let's start at the beginning.
Let's go for it.
Okay, so I'm starting at the beginning. Okay, so I got divorced. And when I got divorced, I moved into a rental property. I've never lived in a rental. That was the weirdest thing in my world. As I was in this rental, I'm like, okay, I need to find a primary home for my daughters and I. I moved out of a 3,000 square foot house in Coeur d'Alene Place. It was just too much. So moved into this rental, which was tiny. And this house came on the market and I knew that I was ready to pull the trigger when it was time. I had talked to my lender. I had my down payment. I just needed to find the perfect spot. So this house came up on the market. And it was listed. I remember my business partner told me, he's like, dude, you are overpaying for this thing. I paid $260.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, I wish I could have bought 1,000,000 of them.
Right.
It's a 1,300 square feet. However, it was the original owners. It's on Windy Pines. So it's an established older neighborhood. The carpets were green. The walls were pink. Gold accents. It was beautiful. So I stayed in the rental and my family is absolutely amazing. So we flipped the property. We renovated it. It took us 45 days. I did it all. It's all on my Instagram. But within 45 days, we flipped it. And then I moved into that one. I'm like, okay, it's a cute house for my girls and I. I didn't know what the beginning of that actually looked like. So we moved into it and both of my girls are very heavy into softball. So I'm like, oh my gosh, we're going out of town all weekend, all summer. I'm going to rent my house out on Airbnb because I do random crap like that all the time. I'm like, hey, this sounds like a great idea. So I rented every weekend out. I'm like, dude, this is awesome.
Oh yeah.
Well,
in your mortgage.
Yes. I'm like, I don't have to pay my own mortgage. Yeah. This is amazing. And my mortgage is $1,200. So I'm like, I can do this. Rented it all out. And then March, COVID hit.
Mm-hmm. Nobody was traveling.
Everybody was traveling, but softball got canceled.
Oh.
I'm like, my house is rented out. I want this money. Like, what am I going to do? Because literally every weekend was gone and rented. I'm like, okay. The house literally across the street, exact same floor plan, exact everything came up as a FSBO, a for sale by owner. I walked over there and I knocked on the door. I'm like, I'm buying your house. And he was kind of a jackass. Like, he's, I think I'm going to offer it to the neighbor. I'm like, oh, no, you're not. I'm going to buy your house. Like, I've got it a little more aggressive than I ever was before. So I ended up buying the house across the street and we moved into that because this one was rented out on Airbnb.
Oh, wow.
So I completely opened the schedule on Airbnb and it filtered through. And I knew the house across the street, what it was going to cost to reno it because I literally just did it. So I did the same stuff on the inside. I was about 36,000 into renovations on that one. So I'm like, okay, I can do this.
Wait, at this point you are in real estate?
Yes, I'm in real estate.
Okay.
So, and as soon as COVID took over, that was really bad. As soon as COVID hit, I took over the office as the CEO.
Oh, okay.
So my whole world is changing anyway. And I'm renovating houses.
Yeah. Throw a little more in there.
Yeah. Why not? Yeah. Like you know, and my girls are like, you are crazy, mom. So I bought that house across the street. The way I was able to buy that house across the street is and this is all I've learned in the last handful of years being in the Keller Williams office. Surround yourself by amazing people and it definitely helps. I took all of my commissions and put them into their own checking account. My savings account, I do not touch my commissions to live off of, or they're just sitting there. So I was able to buy that house. So I bought it and did all that fun stuff. This same year, so I had bought 3 properties in 2020. I bought a little cabin on Hauser Lake, 578 square feet, cutest little thing, but it's like, you know, your black walls in here.
Yeah.
They were all like wood, like what the heck. Yeah. But I purchased that because I saved an additional, my lender helped me because it was a second property or a second home because it was on water. So if it's on water or at a different, like a destination point, you don't have to have 20% down.
Oh.
So I came in with less money. And I'm full disclosure with my lender, like, hey, this is what I'm doing with the property because I don't want to get turned in. And
totally.
I always think I'm like, I don't want to go to prison over this. Right. I'm not going to, but
probably more like a fine. Or
So I bought, at this point, I have bought 3 houses in that year. And it was all, and I've all Airbnb'd them. The benefit with the Hauser house, I feel like I'm a hot ass mess.
It's okay.
Good company.
Yeah.
That's why it works. So the cabin that I bought on Hauser, I sold my parents' property. They've lived in for 25 years, 5 acres, giant shop out like in Athol area. And they needed a place to go. So they moved into the cabin. My mom is like a little Martha Stewart and my dad is like,
wait, is she cold plunging? Did I see that?
Yes. On Hauser Lake.
Sorry.
Daily.
We will get to that.
We'll get to it. Sorry.
Chill out.
Yes, my mom. Yes.
Okay.
Put it. Can you write that note down?
Yeah.
I know what that one is. Therapy. So my parents moved into the cabin with me, for me, or whatever, and they did any of the upgrades that needed done. Nice. So like I have a built-in like home decor team, which was actually pretty awesome.
That's great.
And I think we moved out there. This is bad because I don't even know. I live in my properties before I Airbnb them. So I know that they're completely stocked. The kitchen is fully accessible. Like I like to be in my kitchen on my house to make sure it's good. So my girls and I even stayed out there for a couple months at a time just to make sure it was good.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So in the meantime of them living out there, they actually found a house on the same road. So they bought a house and they've renovated it. And so my tenants moved out. So I actually Airbnb'd that too. Nice. That is my best Airbnb that I have.
I was wondering.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
Because it's a cute little 1 bedroom, 1 bath. It's great for getaways, honeymoons, when spouses still like each other.
Small private lake. Yeah.
So it's good.
Cool. And that has a dock and everything?
It has a dock.
Oh my gosh.
And you can swim. Okay, not year round. That was really dumb. Pretty soon you can go ice skating out there.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
It's thick.
Really?
Yeah.
You can ice skate on Hauser?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's cool.
Because it's only like 20 feet deep. It's kind of creepy.
Oh, so does it get algae blooms in the summer?
No.
Really? That's odd.
Because it has, it's fed.
Oh, it's like moving water.
Yes.
Okay.
Because I guess it's coming from Newman Lake.
Oh.
So they
cool.
feed each other, which is on the other side of the mountain.
Yeah.
So yeah, no algae.
That's cool.
Spectacular.
Yeah, that's a score. What a great spot.
Yeah. Want to hear about the next one?
Yeah. Keep them going. Keep them going.
Okay, so next one is a little house out in Hayden, in between Hayden Lake Country Club and Avondale Golf Course.
Oh, nice spot.
I have this thing when I go look at properties that it has to be a good feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's the female side. And then also the single mom side that I need. If it was myself and my girls, would we feel safe out there? So it's a little cottage out in Hayden Lake, and it was super cute decorated. And it did not need any hammers on my behalf. Like I didn't need to have to go rent out anything in there.
Yeah.
So it's a little 2-2. It has a different draw, and a lot of people don't do Airbnb in Hayden Lake. So it actually gets rented out pretty well too.
That's awesome.
20% down. Again, I just save up my commissions. When I have about 80 to 90 grand in my account, I know it's time to buy another house. And I know how stupid that sounds because I've never been able to say, hey, when you have 90 grand in your account.
Oh, for a lot of people.
Yeah, a lot of people. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's the commission side of it. So
so you're saying 80, 90 grand or 20%. Does that include your renovation costs, or is that just for your down payment?
Down payment usually.
Okay. And then the other thought I had on that was, so it seems to be evening out even with these higher prices that we're having, that mortgage still for what your Airbnb is working out.
I think so. So like my Hayden house, my mortgage is $2,400 a month. Same with, I have one down in the Sanders Beach area. It's about $2,400 a month for the payment. So I just know that I have to rent out so many nights at X amount to make sure that it pays for itself.
And has that been continuing even with the like drop we've been having kind of this year in
downtown Sanders Beach area? No.
That's so interesting.
There's 5 million Airbnbs downtown. There's seriously 900 downtown.
Yeah, I know.
So that is my probably biggest struggle property. The rest of them are awesome.
That's so interesting.
Good to know.
Yeah.
So in my opinion, stay away from downtown Coeur d'Alene.
Do you feel like, this is just a thought I had the other day, because I'm hearing about all these new hotels and projects that are coming in downtown. Do you feel like, or have you even thought about this, that, how the city of Coeur d'Alene is trying to put a halt to Airbnbs or whatever and be strict on them? Do you feel like that's why there's money in the pot that's trying to get
I've sat at a lot of those meetings because I get a little pissy about it because, in my opinion, downtown Coeur d'Alene looks the way that it does because of investors.
Yeah.
Because of people who can turn it around. And I
flip them and make them look nice. And
And I feel like, and I'm going to get shit for this one. I feel like the people
I get shit all the time. Go for it.
Okay, good.
They'll still give me shit somehow.
Okay, good.
Sorry. What you say.
You're going to get some shit for this.
That's fine.
I think the people on the city council are very uneducated and they're not investors. So they don't truly understand that. They work a Monday through Friday, 9-to-5 job. They don't get it.
Right.
So the people who have invested in these properties, because you want an extra $300, I'll buy your stupid permit. It's totally fine, but stop mandating stupid shit.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, totally.
Because here's the thing is they're trying to pull up, hey, police reports. How many are Airbnb people? People who pay to stay in an Airbnb, it's not cheap.
No,
they're paying a pretty penny to stay there.
Yeah.
They leave my properties better than when they come in. So I think it's just
I've read a few of the complaints on there, and some of them, or the emails that have come through. And some of them were like, you know, I have so many Airbnbs in my neighborhood, and the, you know, parking's an issue and it doesn't feel like a neighborhood, which I get. We're like we have Airbnbs around us.
Yeah.
And I get that, but it's kind of nice because there's not always people there.
Yeah.
But the parking, especially downtown, I think that's an opportunity for the city. What if we did parking permits?
Yeah.
And residents, you know, got however many for free.
Yep.
And then the Airbnb host has to pay for whatever, you know, or not even the Airbnb host, the guest. Like, so if they have a driveway, great, you get the driveway, but you have to pay a fee to park on the street or whatever.
Well, if you think about it, say if you guys fly somewhere, say you go to Georgia, because you left Georgia. If you go as a family or two families, you rent a car to get to the property.
Right.
So usually there's not excess of cars anyway.
Yeah.
I just don't understand why they throw up such an issue with the parking. The rental properties that I have, here's my house. Like one of my houses is here. It's an Airbnb. Next door is a rental. They have 6 cars.
Right.
My rental property has 1. They're hunk of junks and they're broke down.
Mm-hmm.
I truly don't think they're looking at it properly.
I agree.
Or
here we go.
Could it be a conspiracy among the elite in Coeur d'Alene that are tied to the resorts and want?
Well, that's what I was asking.
I know what you're getting at.
Because
so the resort,
we're all of a sudden having this problem, right, with Airbnbs, and we're trying to shut them down in the city, and then all of a sudden, I know of 2 hotels that are popping up downtown. It seems kind of a coincidence.
Did you see that the resort is building an additional building right across the street? Right from the resort, right across
Marina
Sherman.
Parking lot, like right behind Life.
I just saw it. Yeah, I just saw it.
And then the building right next door that there's a restaurant. I guess it's closed down now, but they're going to tear that down.
It'll be a 16-story
15.
Excuse me, 15-story addition
Yes.
to the.
There's no 13th floor. Come on. Hey, I don't have a husband for that reason. I see what I want.
Yeah,
and then a bridge across Sherman.
Pedestrian bridge over Sherman.
Oh, well, here's part of it too. I know that they're also building something down. So the downtown house that I have is down South 15th, where like the resort like golf course maintenance area is. Mm-hmm. Apparently, that's going to turn into a high rise of sorts.
There's another one.
Yeah. So that is part of the reason that I bought the house on South 15th is the real estate itself, not necessarily the house or the Airbnb, just the location. Because at some point, it'll be worth millions.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's a great location for sure.
Wow, so you're building up quite the portfolio. She's single, by the way, folks.
And not looking.
Okay, all right. Well,
y'all are a pain in the ass. There's a reason that I'm single, and that's like a whole nother therapy session, just so you know.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So are you going to stop? Are you like on pause, or are you still looking to invest?
I'm always still looking, if that was even a full sentence or whatnot. Yeah. This year, I would actually like to focus on a couple flip properties. Yeah. I think the market is where some people can't necessarily afford.
Yeah.
And some people are unfortunately upside down. I would love to help them. I don't know if I want to do more rental properties at this moment.
Are you managing all your rental properties, or do you have somebody?
I have a gentleman named Josh doing one of them, and then I do the other 4.
Wow.
Oh, so you're handling all the bookings and schedule. That's a lot.
And cleaning.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to come clean some houses with me?
You literally go over there and clean? Yeah. When do you have time for that? Why don't you just hire somebody?
That's called leverage. And no.
And you're not good at it?
No, I am not good at leverage at all. I'm a control freak. My mom actually cleans my Hauser house, and my dad. They're pretty bomb. They're awesome.
That's cool. Yeah.
And then I've actually turned a couple of the short-term rentals into midterm rentals. So I have guests that are staying there for 30 or 60 days.
Yeah.
A couple of agents have people building new construction. So they're just staying there until their house is ready.
Do you allow pets?
Do you know what? I do now.
For us?
I'm thinking ahead.
Yes.
So when we
absolutely
when we sell house, and we'll probably rent until we find something.
And that's what it is. And so part of it is the short-term rentals. If it is like my Airbnb and Hauser, no, I don't, because my daughter is allergic to animals. So I want to have the integrity to say, hey, it's not pet friendly.
Right.
However, if somebody's staying in a midterm rental, yeah. Because most people have pets.
Yeah.
Right. That's pretty common. Yeah. I was just thinking ahead.
Well, I like it.
Take good care.
We know who to ask.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the nerve-wracking thing for us, because it's like, however many rentals will allow. I mean, we have a few animals, so.
Yeah.
They're good. But
they all say that.
Yeah, exactly. And then it's just
spray in the house. Yeah.
Oh my God, we don't have cats.
Yeah. Okay, then we can talk.
Yeah,
and we just told our daughter no about a fish, so no fish.
Okay, that's like one of the easiest pets. That's awesome.
We have 16 dogs though. Is that
you're out? Your wife can come. You're out with the dogs. That's awesome. Yeah.
I feel like I have a lot of fear about stepping into investments. Like, how do you get past that and
suck it up?
Yeah, just don't be a pussy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I usually say that, but I can't.
Oh, you can.
You can.
He's a vagina.
There you go.
We mark explicit content on our podcast. You're good.
Not kid friendly.
That's awesome. No. Part of it is not having a spouse is a blessing and a curse because I don't have to have those conversations. And I think that's where a lot of fear comes in. I just do what I want.
Yeah.
Every house that I've purchased it happened to pop up on the hot sheet. So it's not off market properties. I just saw it and I'm like, I'm going to buy that today. So a lot of it is just having no fear and then having your lender, having your people lined up, having your CPA in on these conversations. So I know what my strategy looks like in the future. That was all new. I didn't understand that going into real estate.
Yeah. So I probably should not have bought a new truck and I could have bought a rental house. Is that what you're telling me?
Yes.
Yeah. But we have the same truck, but mine's newer. It's like literally the same color and it's a platinum.
Oh, mine's 10 years old. It's paid off and I don't give a
Yeah, I know. But like,
I
love my truck.
Yeah.
He just sold his 10-year-old Tundra and then got a new one.
Yeah.
Mine's actually in the shop and it's going to cost like $2,000. I'm like, oh, do I buy a new one?
All right.
Still
it's
worth
a tax write-off.
Still worth it.
Right.
Yes.
We thought that too.
Yeah.
Well, I forgot we have that.
Yeah.
Tax write-off this year.
Okay, let's talk about tax write-offs with investment properties. Have you guys heard of a cost segregation survey?
No.
Oh my, you will want to talk.
Okay.
So here's the thing is if you have a CPA and you say cost segregation survey to them and they're like, what are you talking about? You need a new CPA.
Okay.
Yes.
Ours will not. We have the best tax.
Tommy tax guy.
Tom Robinson.
Me too. Okay.
Oh yeah.
You're
He's
good.
Great.
Tom is amazing. I saw him yesterday.
Everybody says that.
I even told him that yesterday. I'm like, you're everywhere. It's awesome.
Yeah.
That man has saved me some money. And I actually learned about legally. If not, he's going to jail because it's his signature.
Exactly.
I actually learned about cost segregation surveys prior to using Tom, but he knows about them. So a cost segregation survey costs about $3,500 for you to do each tax season. You get to do one per property. And what you get to do is you get to amortize 27 and a half years of all your deductions.
Mm-hmm.
You push it down to either 1, 5, or 6 years. So you get to take all of those deductions at the beginning. So these rental properties need to be a long-term play and you need to consistently purchase them. But each one will save you about $80,000 on taxes.
Holy moly.
It's ridiculous. Like I did 2 last year. I made good money and I didn't pay much in taxes.
Does that mean you need to sell that property
No,
before you want to keep it long term?
Yeah.
But when you do,
she's probably tracking. I'm not, but it's cool. That's why.
Yes.
You're sitting there look pretty.
Yeah. Yeah.
But okay, so the part I get confused on, because I think in 1031 classes or whatever this has been talked about, when you do go to sell though, because you've taken that reduction, how does that work in taxes? Do you know? Because I don't know if you've sold anything.
I have not sold anything because I do know they're long-term plays. That's why I'm struggling with my downtown property. I've done a cost seg survey, so I've received the 80 or 90 grand in benefits.
Oh.
So if I go turn around and sell, more than likely you have to pay that back if it's within like a 10 or 12 year period.
Okay.
That's why you need a good CPA to make sure that you're doing it time-wise.
Okay.
But it needs to be, you need to hold on to it for a while.
Would that one pencil out as a long-term or midterm rental, or does it need to be?
Well, my mortgage is $2,400.
Okay.
And then I have utilities, all of that stuff. I'm about $2,700 in every month.
Yeah.
So if I can get somebody to pay $2,700, then it's fine. I actually have somebody going in for 3 months, like January, February, March, and that's what they're going to do.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. The problem when it's that close, and that's what, when we've done numbers too, I'm like, I don't want it to be like exact, because you want to put some money away for when they move out. And if you need new carpet or you need new whatever. Yeah.
And so that's the difference between, so Kevin, my business partner, and I, he has long-term renters. I have short-term renters. His long-term people, he doesn't see the properties as often as I do. They can trash your house.
Them.
And then you're like, oh, the 10 grand they made off you this year, I'm going to buy new stuff. Like, I don't like that.
Yeah. That's kind of what I've been telling him. I was like, when we do this, I want it to be short-term rentals because of that, because I will get in multiple times a week to see what the property looks like, or at least once a week.
And you can fix it as it comes up too. Here's part of the thing too, is so when you do a short-term rental and you put in your 20% down, say it's $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, you need to be making at least your 10% or 12% or whatever your margins are on that money that you're putting down. Does that make sense? So say you put $50,000 down, right? That math does not work for a $500,000 house. It's 10%. But that $50,000 that you're investing into that property, you need to be making sure that you're making at least like 10% on your money.
Oh, okay.
Because you're going to make 5% on your money at the bank if you have it in a high yield. But if you need to make money on your money that you're putting down.
Got it. Yeah.
So your nightly rent has to cover your mortgage plus your extra plus 10% on that money too. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So that's what I would.
Yeah, that's what we've always struggled with, because around here that's hard to do.
Yep.
I guess we've kind of always been looking more downtown, because I didn't realize Airbnbs were so good out of, but we have been looking out of state too. But that makes me really nervous, because you have to get a crew that you trust. How do you do that when you're not there?
Yeah.
And then you
like
see
to
it. Yeah.
touch my properties
and I think it's rewarding when you can see it and fix it up and make it look nice. And if it's just like, I'm throwing money over here and people are taking care of it, and I've seen pictures, like to me, I'm like,
Yeah, you need to take the emotion away from it.
Yeah.
However, it's still nice to be able to create these experiences for these guests that are staying, because there is charm in Coeur d'Alene. Like, you want them to experience and have fun with it. And fortunately, you're in real estate that you'd like to sell them a house one day if this is the place that they need to be. But
do you have like a cool, are you like all tricked out with your Airbnb? Like, you have like all these things for them when they show up, and like these list of things to do, like all packaged.
Okay, so here's a couple things, and I'm laughing because you'll know why. I do have a list of, hey, here's your welcome packet. Like, things that you should do is hike Mineral Ridge and go to Tubbs and hit the boardwalk. I mean, just the basic touristy stuff. Yeah. And then I always have baskets of snacks. No joke. It's because it's the snacks my kids won't eat when I buy bulk at Costco.
I have some of those.
The chip
Do you need donations for that?
Yes. Just bring them on over. So everybody thinks it's amazing. You're like, yes. Box of popcorn at Costco. I always have those as fillers.
We have a bunch of grape Zevias we need to give away.
Yes. And so that's exactly like, that's what you put in the fridge, and people are like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. This is so great. That's
because
funny.
Usually when you show up to a property, you're like, dude, I'm starving, or I just want some water. Yeah. It's nice to have that little fun thing. So
that's a great idea.
Leftover. Yeah. That junk drawer of snacks goes in the house.
Yeah. I feel like that bar of what people are expecting to Airbnbs keep getting raised.
Yeah.
It's like when we had our kids, and Pinterest first started becoming a thing, and it was like the Pinterest birthday parties, and then it just kept getting more intense and more intense. And I'm like, I'm done. I don't care anymore. Yeah, I'm not spending $3,000.
Right. Because the kids don't even care. Yeah. No, and I think the same thing. But I mean, you could go so elaborate with like engraved stuff. I mean, I've seen some crazy stuff, and I'm like,
that's a bit much.
You're staying at the property. You enjoy Coeur d'Alene.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me know if you need anything.
That's the experience. You're in Coeur d'Alene. It's amazing.
Absolutely.
Have fun.
Yeah. Here's my list of go-dos.
Yeah.
We have thought about renting this house out and then buying something else, which could be a good idea, but it's such a big house.
My worry is it's 4,000 square feet. So when things
you get 20
new carpet,
20 people
new something, it's expensive.
So my properties, I do small. I want one family.
Yeah.
The biggest one is, I have two of them that are 3-2, but then they're 1-1, 2-2, 2-1. Like, I want small because it's my girls and I. We don't ever rent anything big, and I think it's ridiculous how much people can spend. I don't want to come in and clean after 3 families leave here or 2 families leave here.
I mean, you know that big white one on Government? It's
across from the cemetery.
Yeah. Okay, so that's an Airbnb.
Okay,
and apparently they do really good. There's always cars there. Actually, the gal who runs it, husband almost bought this house when we had it for sale 2 years ago now. I don't know, whatever it was. And they were going to live in this and then rent that, or opposite. I don't know. Gotcha. But anyways, it's the same size.
Yeah.
And they're doing really well. And I've seen it rents for a lot.
Yeah.
So we've thought about it. It would make a lot of money, but it's just like, it's so big.
It's a commitment.
And to like furnish it, like, you know,
because they're going to use your stuff, because they want to. And a lot of times they rent what they don't have a home. So they're like, oh my gosh, this is beautiful, because this is a beautiful home. I don't want to clean. That's so selfish. Like, I don't want to.
So do you guys bounce around still from house to house, or do you have your main home now?
We have our main home now.
That's nice.
So We moved 7 times.
Wow.
On the 6th time,
Thank
Taylor.
you for not calling me to help, by the way.
Can I tell you? I leave all the stuff in each house because I set up fully furnished. I move my clothes. So the girls like it because they each get to decorate a bedroom, new one each time. I get to do anything in a house that I want. So the final time, Taylor's like, I'm done, Mom. She's my 17-year-old. She loves consistent, steady Eddie. Like her room is her jam.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm never moving again. I said, okay. And she's like, if I actually found a pretty house, can we move? I said, are you in to move? So she found a new construction, beautiful home. So we live in Coeur d'Alene Place. And she's like, okay, I'll move one more time. A little selfish little
from this house.
Whatever.
It's only 5 million waterfront.
Yes.
Mom, I'll move.
Come on. Well, it's funny because she used to be my little showing assistant when I first got into real estate. Now I say, hey, you want to go show a house with me? Send me the link. If it's not like $1 million or two,
our daughter
she will
says
not
that
show.
too.
And I'm like, yes, not. But she wants to get into real estate now. And I'm like, you can't just sell luxury.
Right? Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be fun.
It would be fun.
Yeah.
I hope she does it. But
how old is she now? She's 17.
17.
Okay. So
yeah.
Can you get your real estate license at 18?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. And she's already planning to do it. But
cool.
She's so quiet though. So it'll be interesting.
Quiet coming from you, huh?
I know. Isn't that crazy?
It is crazy.
Can I tell you? I used to be very quiet.
Really?
I used to be like the sweetest, most humble and naive, and like until I went into restaurant management.
That will change you, huh? Yeah.
There's zero filter. Yeah, it definitely changed me.
I could see that. I worked in bars a long time in college, and yes, it like you have to.
Like I don't trust people. Whatever you say, it's BS. Like, do you know how many times I've been proposed to on a UFC fight night in Buffalo Wild Wings? It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So I don't trust people. Yeah. So
interesting.
And so just stuff comes out of my mouth, and I'm like, I need to find a filter. And then the older I get, I'm 45. I don't care anymore. Like,
right.
Yeah, it's gonna get worse.
I think those conversations, though, I mean, that taught me conflict resolution, and which I carried over into law enforcement 100%. Like,
oh gosh, yeah.
I can count in 14 years in law enforcement, I was in less than 5 fights on the side of the road after 500 DUI arrests and however many other arrests, simply because I could just talk to people and like check the ego at the door.
Absolutely.
Make it a good time.
Yeah.
Next thing they know, they're in handcuffs on the way to the jail. We're singing.
And your best
It's
friends.
Like,
Yep.
See
I know all my servers were like, oh my gosh, they're so mad. Their food's messed up. I mean, because you don't mess with people's food. They're hangry. My goal was, hey, you're going to be my best friend by the time we leave. They're like, how do you do that? I'm like, talk to people. Just talk.
Yeah.
So you can work through a lot.
Yeah, which transfers quite well into real estate, I think.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah.
And that's why Seth is in sales and I'm the background.
That is awesome.
Maybe I need to go work in restaurant management because I was, I got my license in 2011 and I was in and out of it, but for the most part, I was home raising kids. So it was like, being out in that is still a little nerve wracking to me, like being front and center and everything. So
I think you're right though. The older I get too, like I'm 43 and I like my give a shit meter is just like, oh, it's great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm like, man, I just don't care that much anymore.
There's certain things that when I care. And when I don't, I'm out.
Yeah. What a great feeling. I wish I had that when I was, in my teenage years.
Okay. So it's kind of me too. I had this conversation yesterday. So both of my girls, my oldest daughter's 20 and she's literally in Malaysia today.
Ooh.
Wow. They have more of this in them at the ages that they are. And I'm like, dude, I'm jealous of that. And I'm glad I've been able to instill that because I didn't have that confidence factor. It took me till I was 40 to be like, F off.
Yeah.
But they have it now. Like Taylor, my 17-year-old, if she doesn't like you, and she's respectful about it, but she just doesn't put up with anything.
That's cool.
Like, that's how our 13-year-old is. I absolutely adore her. And she's like her attitude. I'm like, where does she get this from? Because like she's on a volleyball team and there's some nasty girls on there.
Oh gosh.
And she doesn't she doesn't get mad. She's just like, yeah, we know, Charlie and I are her best friend. Like, we know who the nasty girls are. We know they talk crap. And I'm just like, whatever, talk crap. You're the one who's insecure.
Good.
She's just like, whatever.
Dude, it took me till 37 in a crappy relationship and getting divorced to find that in myself.
It's powerful.
It is, especially at that young of an age. You just hope that they just keep it.
Yeah. I'm like, could it be like one thing that could just like crush that spirit?
It's called a boy.
Oh God. Let's not talk about it.
That's awesome.
Nervous about that.
So something else I wanted to talk about while you're here, your health journey that you're on. It's super inspirational. And I know you're doing a lot on social media to promote that and help people and inspire people. And I think it's really amazing. You want to talk about how that got started? And what you're doing?
I'm an open book. If you guys haven't noticed, I'll tell you what's my checking account. I don't care. Like, right, here you go. Even like on my health journey, part of this started with Kevin, my business partner, that, hey, I want to be completely transparent on who I am, what I do. And I truly think that will help. And he's like, great, go get it. Well, he didn't expect my very first video was like, I put a picture of me on the scale, like what my weight was. And people are like, what the fuck? Awesome. We don't talk about weight.
Super awesome.
We all have a weight. We all are built differently. We all have sizes. I have a booty and boobs. Like that's just part of it.
Same. Yeah. Go on.
Yeah, you got a booty. But I think it just opens up that we all have something that we need to work on. And I think if you're just very upfront with it. So Dave, your guys' wonderful business partner, he introduced me to Tyler at Peak. And it was just a quick introduction. And again, God puts people in your life exactly when you need them. I needed that. So I went to Tyler's first class and I'm like, what the fuck am I doing here? My girls are so athletic. I've encouraged them. I've ran sports bars. Like, I love sports. I don't necessarily do the sports. And I'm like, I'm literally out on the back steps, like gonna pass it. I'm like, what the fuck did I just sign up for? This is horrible.
Try not to throw up right now.
Yes. I'm like, I'm taking my socks and shoes off because I'm overheated. And Tyler's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I got to take them off. Like, can I work out with them off? He's like, no, put that shit back on. Let's go. But I consistently for 3 days a week have been going for 3 months now.
Nice.
Yeah.
It has changed, again, my mental state. I've had a lot of changes in my life too, but I physically am stronger. Like, I'm already a strong individual. It's just pushing me past and more. And I'm like, dude, I can like hike. Like, I went to Angel's Landing and hiked to the top of it. And I'm like, I wasn't winded and it wasn't embarrassing. It was awesome. So
that's a good feeling.
It is a good feeling. Yeah. And then on top of that, I started cold plunging as a solo thing.
Here we go.
Yeah. Dave encouraged.
This is why we're here today.
But again, Dave talked so much shit. And I'm just like, it's not that hard. Come on. And the first time I went, I'm like, ooh, I probably should have talked.
Especially when you're doing it first thing in the morning. It's like dark most of the time.
Yeah, because we go at 6:30. I think my first couple plunges were like Saturday morning, like at 9. My neighbor came with me for one time, and I go out there, and I'm like, and I grew up on Hayden Lake, so I love that lake. It's peaceful to me. But I'm like, what the am I doing? Like, this is crazy. I am completely addicted now.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
Yes, like I went this morning, and there were 7 of us.
You got a crew going, man.
Well, and 2 of the original girls weren't even there. So it was even more new people. And I'm like, it's invigorating.
It creates some weird cult. He has his people too that go they go 3 days or 3 to 4 days a week.
I got people all over the country that I'm just saying. Like,
he does. It's weird.
Cult.
We're in the,
it's crazy.
I don't know what it is. It's akin to like getting tattoos to me, which is extremely painful if you have them, but you get one and you're like, I want to get more. Like, there's the suffering element. There are a lot of health benefits. Google that because I'm not smart enough to tell you all about it, but
they're amazing.
For me, it's the mental game. Like, I get there, I go after jujitsu usually in the morning, so it's still really early. There's no part of me that wants to get in that water. Like, it's like my guts are like, fuck this, but you get there, but there's still that draw. Like, I guess there is a part of me that wants to get in that water, but a majority of me is like, no. And you get there and you're like, man, I don't want to do it. It's going to hurt. You get in the water and it helps to go with people. And then afterwards I'm like, I feel good. I've conquered the inner bitch. Yeah. Every time. Yeah. That's the win for me. Absolutely. The rest of the day's easy after that.
It is, because if that's you're setting yourself up. If you do hard things first thing, the rest of the day is good. Yeah. And you hold yourself to that.
Yeah. There's a huge endorphin release too. So I think that there's an element there as well. Like, I love it.
Addiction factor. One of the gals new today, first time she's ever cold plunged.
I love bringing new people.
Literally walked in like a boss up to her neck.
Oh my God.
No voice, no sounds or anything. I'm like, dang girl. Like, I'm like, I'm breathing. It's good.
You get to see people. So I take, it's usually guys that come with us because we're coming from jujitsu. Yeah. And I'm like, you might think this dude's tough, and he hits that water, and you're like, you're bitch.
I want to
quit crying. Yeah. Yeah. So like when I go, I try to have no emotion. and just walk in. And I've gotten a lot faster at controlling my breathing. At first it was like that big panic response. And I think there's an element in that too, is you're training your body to overcome that panic response.
Yes.
And that will carry over to other aspects of your life. Say if you're in a high stress incident, probably not going to be in a shooting, but if you were, or a car crash or something, like it's that much quicker. You can calm yourself down and start thinking again. And that's the real value.
Yeah. And you said it earlier that it is easier to go with people. So I went by myself the other day and my breathing was a whole lot heavier. And I took the camera in the water with me and I never had done that. And I'm like, oh my gosh. But then when I went with a friend or my group of friends, it's not the same.
Right. Because they're entertaining you. That's when I've gone. I've gone with their group on the weekend or whatever. And it's like I looked at last time I went with John Fontaine was there. And I was like, I looked at him. I'm like, entertain me. Right. So we start having a conversation and then everyone starts talking and then it's like, oh, it's already like 3 minutes or whatever. And it's like, it's so much better. I can't imagine going alone. I've never done that.
Well, it's a different Zen and it's a different calming thing. Like
more meditative. Maybe.
Yeah. And it is because we went last couple days ago and we actually stayed in for 8 minutes, which we were talking.
Yeah.
But when you go in and do 3 minutes solo,
that feels like 8 minutes.
It does. You get so much more out of it, and it's a different what you get out of it. So
for sure. Yeah. So have you ever been to Heat Proxia?
No.
So we just went the other day. We were invited, and first of all, I'm in love, and I've joined because of this. Oh. But I was like,
full disclosure.
I was like, we're leaving. I'm like, we're joining. So, awesome. But anyways, we went, and so it's like they have saunas, and then they have the cold plunges.
Yeah.
They also have red light, but they didn't where we in the room we were in. But so I actually found it. So I find getting to the cold plunge the hard part. Being in the water, like it's pretty painful the first minute, but then after that, I'm like pretty good. Mm-hmm. But the sauna was hard for me. So after it's like 200 degrees.
Yeah.
And so you're good at first, but once you start warming up, I started panicking. Like I was like, like, okay, I'm hot. Like I'm panicking. Like, and
how long did you stay in the sauna for over there?
You can do whatever you want, but
we did 20 minutes, didn't we?
I don't know what it was.
It was about 20. And you start hitting, like, there's almost a claustrophobic feeling. It's interesting.
Well, like, have you ever tried to breathe, like close your mouth and only breathe through your nose when you're working out?
Yeah.
It's like that feeling.
Oh my gosh.
Nope. Yeah.
I'm out.
Yeah.
So it's the same like panic response and which is interesting. I was paying attention to my heart rate in there and it starts climbing and climbing and climbing. So you're actually getting like a static cardio workout because your heart rate, could hit 130, 150 beats a minute just sitting there. And it's purely from the heat. So that's why there are so many health benefits to sauna use. It's a 3 to 4 times a week sauna use, I think for 20 minutes at a shot is a 40% reduction in all cause mortality and a 60% reduction in dementia and Alzheimer's.
No way.
Yeah.
It's legit.
Yeah, that's why I want to do it because I've been working on my health journey and having health issues over the last few years or whatever. And so a lot of it's my brain function. So I'm like, get into the sauna, do cold plunging. We got red light.
I guess those are pretty easy things to do versus anything that's either medical or
and I'd much rather do it that way.
Yeah. And I mean, some of it's free. Like up here in North Idaho, you can cold plunge for free, obviously.
I'm worried about the summertime.
So that's where like a place like Heat Proxia
or you get a cold plunge tank.
And I have one at my house, but
a tank or like
a blow up.
Oh, where you can just like throw some ice in it.
I'm just gonna have to like Uber Eats 20 bags of ice every 3 times a week is probably what I'm gonna do.
That's
I might
why
buy an ice maker.
You know what? Like, just go buy a cold plunge tank.
I might because I'm that far in.
Yeah. Or get a
membership
because having the sauna is really beneficial too. So going to a place like that, I think. I don't know. For some reason, I was resistant to it. I'm like, okay. I'll make my own sauna. And then I'm like, well, okay. Yeah, that was
I go to the sauna at peak, and it's 170 degrees because I actually looked at it the other day. Hot. But again, I'm like, all right, I'm done. My thing, I get bored.
Yeah.
Like you'd say go walk on a treadmill for 30 minutes. I'm like, dude, my AD kicked in and I can't. So it's making sure because my phone will temp out and it gets too hot in there. I mean,
so
it's a mental game of sitting for that long.
You could like leave your phone out and maybe wear earbuds or something like that. Like I don't know, listen to something.
Right.
I don't know.
I should just learn how to sit in silence by
myself. That
myself.
would be good too, right?
That's something. Yeah, for sure.
Maybe I'll work on that.
Learning on getting 20 minutes at least of quiet time.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that might be hard for me too. Cause when we were with, another couple. And so we were talking the whole time.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah. It's different when it's two or solo or
yes.
Yeah.
For sure.
I mean, all of this, like the reason behind it is like being successful in your career is awesome. But I have been in that career, when I was in law enforcement, it was every day I'd go to work and be like, I can't wait till I retire. I'm going to do X every freaking day. And it was like a countdown and I hated that.
Yeah.
Now like I refuse to live like that anymore.
Good.
Yeah. So you're
taking your life back.
Right. Do it now. And, I know guys that I'm like, man, you got to like take control. You're going to fucking die of a heart attack. Like we are at that age where that shit happens.
It does. Even as healthy as you are, it still can happen.
Oh, totally.
You need to enjoy every moment of this life. Yeah. Because it's short.
None of the other shit matters. Like really, it does not matter.
No. So enjoy stuff that and surround yourself by amazing people. Like that is a huge portion of it. So
it is huge. I know he asked me the other day is like, why? Cause we just joined up our team with Eric and Dave and Renee and we're busting our ass off. And, and he's like, what is your why? Why are you motivated? And I'm like, I just like, it's fun. Yeah. Like I just enjoy it. Like it's fun. Not like it makes me happy to be like working and then seeing it be successful and like, whatever. It's not about the money. I mean, the money is nice, but it's fun to see what you can do, what you can push yourself to be. And
and if you get to surround yourself by like, you guys have an amazing team of people, those 5 individuals, you guys are all amazing. I have that in Kevin. Like we're smaller, but if you don't enjoy what you're doing, don't do it.
Yeah.
But you got to change it. But here's also the thing. You guys are affecting your children, their legacy, their lineage, and maybe they want to take over the team when they get older.
Right. That'd be awesome.
And I never went to high school and be like, ooh, I'm going to be a real estate agent. That just sounds dumb.
Right.
Taylor is saying that. I'm like, good for you. You don't have to have the education. And I mean, I was at Buffalo Wild Wings and Applebee's for 20 years. I was the smartest person in the room. I made the most amount of money and I made $72,000 a year. Like, that's great, huh? And I would spend 60, 70 hours a week in a building and I missed out on life. So if you can truly decide what your why is and what you want to do, it's amazing.
I think so. And I think it's hard. And I think a lot of people struggle with that too. Like, what am I passionate about? And it's like, I'm not necessarily, I do like houses and real estate and like all that, but it's not like my passion, right?
No, well, and this is not HGTV.
Right.
Everybody thinks it's like, ooh, this magical pick 1, 2, or 3.
Right.
It's not it.
Like showing houses isn't the job. Especially these days where it's like social media and this and that. And like you have to be like wear so many different hats. And it's like,
I showed 16 houses between the last 2 days. It was like boom, 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 all day, nonstop.
Like, shoot me.
No breaks for lunch. Yeah. And I mean, but sometimes that's the job. Like you got somebody in town for 2 days and like, all right.
Which is great. You showed 16 houses and you had to say no to so many things or, hey, I'll do all these callbacks later. I mean, that's going to push you into tomorrow's activities. And and that's, time management is huge.
Yeah. It does get stressful at those times. I have found lately, like my real passion is connecting people and building community. And I did not even know this about myself until I got out of law enforcement because that career, I just felt like it did not allow me to do that.
Right.
This career, it does. And it actually helps everything too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's
like you're the yellow pages for everybody in your world.
Yeah.
You get to do these things. So it's amazing.
Yeah. Oh, he gets so excited. Today, well, he made a new connection, was it yesterday, I think, or whatever. And he was this morning on the way to the gym, he's like so excited about, oh my gosh, I can connect that guy to this guy and blah, blah, blah. And there's like no benefit to him.
I don't get anything out of that.
But he's like, so excited.
They would benefit each other.
Yeah.
That excites me.
When you get to see that, even like as your guys' team grows, you're going to see that and you're going to encourage Eric. I mean, it's going to be amazing to watch him grow and blossom and like do all these amazing things that he's been amazing in the career that he has been. This is going to be completely different, but you guys get to be his cheerleaders and you get to do those things.
I'm so excited for him because he's very intelligent. He's a cool dude. And I'm like, oh, he's going to thrive.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how lucky is he to be like coming into this team with like, you know what I mean? Like Dave's amazing.
Yeah.
And, just to, us. But
you're amazing. Seth. He's here.
He's entertaining. Yeah,
but yeah,
I got
awesome.
that.
We're excited.
That's awesome. I'm excited for you. But you get to, I mean, like running the brokerage for the last 4 years, you get to see these people like change their lives and just do different things. So
yeah.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Do you, obviously, other than your daughter, like if someone came to you and was like, is it a good time to become a realtor right now? What would you tell them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you just have to have confidence in yourself.
Yeah.
Believe that you can do it. And yeah, absolutely.
What are the some people just are not cut out for it. Like,
no, they're not.
And you can tell right away.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why are you looking at me when you say that?
You exceeded the odds. I'm glad you have a better half,
That is great.
No, but legit there. Yeah. You can tell when somebody's because they don't have that it factor. I don't know.
Yeah. There's like the charisma, I guess, something.
Yeah. You just have to be diligent.
Yeah.
Consistent is huge.
That's been my number one trait that has gotten me any success in life is just showing up on time.
Whether it's working out or work, whatever. Yeah. You just have to be
well, and I
consistent.
think you need to figure out who you need to surround yourself by. And my biggest thing is surround the 5 people that you surround yourself by. That is who you are. That is a product of your environment.
Do dogs count in that at all?
That explains a lot. But when I got into real estate, it's now been 6 years. I surrounded myself by Kevin. His mom was my mentor and she had passed away. And so he by default got me, which I'm joy for him. But he was my Cliff Notes version. So I knew who my go-to people were.
Yeah.
And in that first year together, we sold 48 houses, but I sold 46 of them.
Oh, wow.
Because I consistently showed up. I consistently made my 20 calls every day.
He pushed you hard,
like
didn't he?
clockwork. Yeah. Well, and it was more of, I didn't want to walk in and be like, I didn't do that today.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, I don't like disappointing people.
Yeah.
But in turn, I turned around and didn't disappoint myself either. So, and I proved it to my daughters. So it was a big part.
Yeah, it's interesting. So I think March will be a year for our YouTube that we've been consistent.
Yeah.
And it is a struggle and it is a grind and we didn't see anything from it for a very long time.
Yeah.
And so just to have that, I don't know what you call it, like consistency and grit and just now it's super paying off.
I have gotten emails the last 3 days in a row. I've gotten an email from a new person and every single one of those is connected to law enforcement. Like, hey, I'm retired deputy sheriff. My husband's a sheriff.
It
is. And I'm like, man, I'm speaking to the right people. Like these are our people.
Yeah.
There's an immediate bond. There's an immediate trust when we connect with them. So it's like, it's so freaking rewarding. And to take these guys, a lot of these guys that have worked 30 years in this job, like that job will break you.
Yeah.
They come and they're damaged and they're coming to North Idaho and they're coming to heal mentally a lot of times. Right.
Yeah.
And to see that and to be able to connect them to like-minded people in the community, that is the most freaking rewarding thing in the world.
That's got to be such a peaceful feeling for them too, to know like I can trust you.
I think so.
I know who you
I think
are.
so. And we meet and it's like, we'll give 2 minutes and we're like, oh, we're speaking the same language. 100%. Yeah. And I can be my dumbass self and make the jokes that I like to make. I know I'm not going to offend them. And it's like,
and if you're offended, oh my gosh.
Yeah. See
but here's the thing is if you go back to your guys' podcast though, you guys were each other's accountability partner.
Right.
There's days that you didn't want to do it. There's days that you didn't want to do it, but you being consistent and having somebody to hold you accountable, it's huge.
It is huge.
Yeah. She yells at me all the time. So
I would understand why. Yeah. She's doing a good job.
Make a video, bitch.
So if you're getting into real estate or anything new, right? Get an accountability partner. Get somebody who you're going to respect enough that you will be afraid to check in with them if you don't.
Yeah. Well,
you don't do
huge.
it. Yeah.
One of the agents in my office, to hold herself accountable, she's late everywhere she goes. She's like, I will pay $50 to KW Cares every time I'm late.
Oh my
gosh.
gosh.
Give a $50 bill. Collected a few of them.
Awesome.
Oh, wow.
But again, you have to know what your trigger is and just be able to open and be vulnerable with that person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the key to everything. I mean, working out, all of that.
Oh yeah.
You know, at jiu-jitsu, like my accountability is that I am the coach. So I have the key to the door and I'm literally opening the door. Like it's not ever a question in my mind. I get up and I'm like,
because you're going to let down 10 guys that show up.
Let's be real, 15 to 20. So
damn.
Yeah, but that's my accountability for that, right?
Good job, 20 guys. Yeah. Let's go 25.
Yeah.
He's pushing.
That is
seriously,
like
that's awesome though.
Yeah.
I mean, but you're leading that. That's
which feels weird, right? I have that imposter syndrome all the freaking time because I'm like, I don't really know what I'm doing.
Okay.
These guys,
they're following.
Yeah, it's like I just show up.
Yeah,
I'm always there.
I understand that.
I think that's number one.
Good job.
So yeah, if you feel like an imposter, that's okay.
Keep going.
Pretty normal. Keep going.
Keep going.
I get it. That's awesome.
Well,
we're almost at
about an hour.
Yep.
That's awesome. Magical.
Flies by.
Yeah. That's good stuff. Thanks for having me, you guys.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Should
we have you back with Kevin sometime? Would that be fun?
Yeah.
Is he entertaining on the air?
Yeah, knowing that he doesn't have to completely filter is awesome.
Perfect. Well, thank you, Kyra. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
We'll put your Instagram handle in there so people can follow your health journey. And if they decide that you're more capable and better realtor than us, then
they can call you.
Call her.
I am. Just kidding. I love Seth and Kristen. Awesome.
Seriously, thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
thanks for having me.
Right.
Yeah, glad you guys are here. Glad you didn't move to Georgia. Oh my gosh. You just cracked me up.
What do I do? Leave end session?
I don't know. No, hit the stop button over there on the left.
This?
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.